Oh my gosh. I actually think that my mic wasn't on. So I do apologize. I'm so sorry. I've been talking this whole time without the mic being on. So we're going to have to start over the live. We're going to just start over. Shout out to everyone. Thank you guys for all of your support in advance. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for those of you who are new. Shout out to my Purple Heart members. Thank you guys for all of your support. You will see this video once it re-uploads to YouTube. Okay, so tonight I wanted to go ahead and talk about something in my neck of the woods. As you guys know, I live in Canada, so we are having a Canada Postal strike. Canada Post is on strike. This is about the third week now of the postal strike. So, like I was saying, what that means for entrepreneurs, people like myself who use Canada Post to ship our orders and our products and to receive the products as well, for inventory and all of that, returns and what have you, we have not been able to do that. That service is not available right now. There's no mail delivery whatsoever through Canada Post. I had some orders that were already in transit. Now they are kind of like in a holding position until the strike is over. We have no idea when that will be. The last time Canada Post went on strike, um, the government had to force them back to work because arbitration did not work. Talks broke down. Neither side could reach a deal, and the government had to step in and basically deem it an essential service and ordered the union and the workers back to work. This time around, I'm not sure if the government is going to step in or if they've just sent a mediator to kind of get both sides back to the bargaining table and see what can be done. Um, so this is our second go around in 2 years. The last time we had a strike, it lasted a couple months, which was devastating for a lot of entrepreneurs. A lot of people lost customers and business and money, and it was just a really, really tough time. Mainly because Canada Post is our national postal service. It is the cheapest way for small business owners to send and receive packages, inventory, and all types of other shipments. With that being said, however, there are other services obviously that you can use. You have Purelator, FedEx, Canpar, UPS, those other private shippers. It will be costly. Some small businesses do have an overhead that allows them to ship that way. um, I am lucky enough that my business, the third party that handles our shipping and the back end side of things for us, covers that cost. So I don't have to pay extra for Purelator. They ship with Purelator, so I can still ship out my orders. The only inconvenience to me is that the Purelator drop off where I am is a little bit further out than the postal depot, which is like a 10-minute walk from my house. Now I gotta hop in the Uber to go drop off this package. So I'm incurring like an extra cost. But that is nothing compared to what I would have to pay if I had to pay for the shipping label through Purelator myself. So, yes, I do have to pay a smaller fee. I do have to pay a small fee, not smaller. I do have to pay a small fee for that label switch out, but I'm not incurring that fee out of pocket. It's just coming out of profit. So that's fine. It is very important, as a small business owner. As this is Entrepreneurial Monday, of course, that's what we're talking about. Sorry if I didn't make that clear at the beginning of the live. This is my Entrepreneurial Monday late night chit chat video, kind of giving an update as to what's going on in terms of my entrepreneurial journey. Okay, so um yeah, I think before I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so basically we had a contingency plan in place. So with that being said, I've also been using the time this time around. Last time we had this strike, I was kind of stressed. I had because I had all this stuff kind of in the pipeline. I had a lot of orders that had just gone out, that I had to kind of, they were in limbo for months, just kind of sitting in the system. I had to wait, obviously, for the strike to be over, and my customers had to wait to get these products, which were like months behind. So a lot of the stuff that I sell is geared towards the season that we are in. So they couldn't use the items. They came when the season was over. So that was a bummer, but the good news is there's always next season. So my customers were very understanding. We were in communication the whole way. We kept them up to date. Every time I got an email, I sent out an email so that they knew that, we cared and we were on top of it. And that really went a long way into converting them to being return customers. So that's always important, to go the extra mile when things are kind of going left. It's always good to just try and empathize, show that empathy to your clients. They will appreciate it, even if there is nothing that you can do. The fact that you acknowledge their stress, they appreciate that because nobody wants to pay for stuff and not get it when they need it, right? So it's always frustrating. So this time around, I've really been focusing on keeping in contact, staying in communication, staying on top of everything, giving updates where needed, answering questions, just being ready and available to my clients with whatever questions they may need answered. Also, I have been focusing a lot on promo. I have been doing a lot on our Instagram pages and our Facebook pages that I don't normally get to do. I usually delegate those tasks out. But now that I have time on my hands, I get to kind of get in on the back end of things, which is something that I love to do as well. The marketing, the promo, the advertising, all that type of stuff, updating the website, updating the mailing list, updating the followers, doing all that type of stuff that's on the back end that I usually don't get to do the day to day of because I'm so swamped and busy with, all these different things that we have going on. But it's nice to get some time to really, get my hands in there and do some stuff. So that's another way that I've decided to look at the Canada Post strike, not in such a negative way. Yes, it is stressful, but we've been down this road before and we know that um particularly for us because we do have these other shipping options, it's not as stressful. So I've been focusing on the positive, using this extra time to, like I said, do the things that I need to do, tweak what I need to tweak, and just, you know, just kind of take care of all the admin stuff that I don't normally get to do. So that's another good way to kind of pass the time. And everything has a silver lining. That's what you have to kind of teach yourself when you're an entrepreneur, because there things are just going to always pop up and you don't always have a big team to kind of take care of everything. Sometimes you are hands on and you're the first line of defense and you have to take on all of that stress. So that's kind of how we've been coping with the postal strike, just utilizing the time to do other things that are business related, shoot content, push out content, focus on some of our other social media platforms that we don't normally get to do because we're so busy focusing on the other stuff. So really getting in there, getting my lemon content, getting in the threads content, just on Instagram, just doing the things that we need to do to just keep promoting the business. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of, for my entrepreneurial update this week, I just wanted to give you guys like a little mini, because I don't think I made a video talking about the fact that there is a postal strike going on. And yeah, so I just kind of wanted to kind of touch on that. Last time I had a little bit more to vent about because, like I said, I had all these orders kind of out there floating in the system. It was very stressful. So there was a lot going on. This time around, I'm also a lot more empathetic towards the postal union and the workers. Like I said, a year has passed since the last labor interruption, and a lot has transpired in the world these days. And everybody wants job security. Everybody wants to know that with all these cuts that are going on, that their workers, the people that have been putting in years and years and years at these companies, are not getting stiffed. Because we all know how that goes. It's the worker last. Everybody else, gets what they need to get, and the worker who's actually on the front line is left holding the bag. So as somebody who also works as a person, not in a traditional 9 to 5, but I am still a worker who clocks in at a job, I can totally empathize with those concerns. Everybody's concerned about the state of the economy, the finances, all that stuff. So hopefully, they can come to some type of resolution, and we can go ahead and get everybody back to work, because I'm sure they want to be back at work as well. You don't get paid when you're on strike. So, standing on your ideals can be very expensive, especially in this day and age. So, I try to be understanding. I try to utilize the time that I'm given in a positive way, and just, hope for the best. So, that's kind of my little update for my entrepreneurial journey for this week. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you are aware of the Canada Post strike, if you're in Canada, how is it affecting you? Are you a small business owner? How is it affecting you in that way? Let me know in the comments down below. Stay up and stay blessed. Thank you guys for those of you who did come through. And we'll catch up with you guys in another video. Deuces.